warm, but I warn that there is a storm. I'm not your favorite, but pretty soon know you will conform. So I would never leave the mic alone, calling up opportunity like the mic is my phone. My heart's cold and her love for me is so warm. She hasn't said it, but her stare was so long. She gonna feel me though, it's real.
But diving into the side where I wanted to then learn more how to mix the music that we've recorded, it was all about just trying to figure out the foundation. It was the same approach in the sense of like, what are the fundamentals? But instead of music theory, this was, what are your fundamentals of general mixing? How should it be tracked? What levels should you have coming in that are appropriate? What are the kind of the general aspects of the mix process, from the editing to the leveling to the compressing to the EQing, to then adding reverb, delays, effects, all of that. I spent some time, because at that point now the internet had gotten a little bit better. There was a lot more information online that was actually comprehensive. There was a lot more classes that you could take both in person and online for this kind of thing. So I wound up taking a bunch of online classes from a variety of well-known home studio kind of like they were like teachers / bloggers / podcasts people, but they had like a decent course, and I just kind of went through all of that and kind of took it in, mixing with all the other content out there. There's so much to teach a person how to mix these days out there. Mix with the masters, Recording Revolution, Home Studio Corner. I mean, there's just so many things that you could sign up. I'm sure Masterclass at this point has a whole thing on mixing.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I forget the other university, but yeah. So long story short, I took those.
Slate's got one, right?
Slate, right? Slate has one. Udemy has a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, and you know, not that we're getting paid by these people, just things to know if you want to go search it out.
This is so good. This is so good. Yeah.
So I took one of those courses from Recording Revolution, actually, and kind of just got my hands wet. After that, I kind of worked. I just kept doing it. I just kept recording and then trying to apply what I learned up until it seemed to make sense and get a flow. And then the more you start to do it, the more you keep EQing a drum, you start to figure out why it sounds that way when you do these cuts, these additions, and how it should sound in the context of certain music. And then you own that, and then you can go ahead and tweak it. Same thing with the guitars, same thing with vocals. And then, you know, by that point, once you've done it enough, now you're like, okay, I understand kind of what I'm listening for. And then I can now get creative with it. So learning that foundational aspect of what are the general things that need to be done in what succession really allowed me to then get open and then allow us to get creative with things like creative EQ or delays and reverbs in interesting places, using pitch shifting. We were playing with like some of our later stuff, MIDI mapping certain synths to certain things where they shouldn't go, whatever it was about getting creative with it. So it made a big deal. So that's like, it's really, if anybody is really interested in going into the recording aspect, not just the playing aspect, now is the time to, take all the resources you have online, get into some kind of class. And the classes, I will say, like I took ones that were pre-recorded, so you could watch them whenever.
Yeah.
So it's not like you were stuck to a time frame. But it's like you have so much out there, and the tools have become so much easier, so much cheaper, and all very good. And there's just so much that there's no reason, if you're at all interested, just do it. Just grab a DAW, start recording, and start from there.
Won't you let your fear go, watch the money grow? I accidentally flow while I'm saying what I know. They call it rapping, but to me I'm straight into my soul. Even the mirror couldn't show the potential you hold. Don't fold, they tryna see my game crease.